I have to announce my retirement.
From?
Organized crime.
No, from regular speaking. You know, there comes a time in a man's life where he has to put him and himself to a challenge. Both him and himself to a challenge.
You and your higher self.
Yeah, and tonight, in honor of our special guest, Ryan, sir, you,
I'm jealous.
he has no idea how much he's inspired me over the last 3 days of reading over his bio.
Oh, wow.
And looking over all of his Instagram, even going back to the earlier shit when people post stuff that they wish they didn't. Right? Especially girls. You ever notice that? As soon as you go back, you can't go all the way back to a girl's Instagram. They erase that shit.
Yeah,
They're like
exactly.
Okay? November 5th at the Fraser Boxing Pavilion. I'm returning to the ring.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Okay, are you
On
serious
a
right now?
Jerry Gianco presentation, I, like Joe Louis, smoking weed going into the fight. I will not be smoking weed going into the fight.
Fight.
You will not. But are you really fighting it?
Nor will I be going into the ring to fight.
Oh, okay, thank you.
For I now announce my second and newest career as a ring announcer.
Welcome to the business.
Getting my very first ring announcer gig November 5th. It's going to be at the Fraser, whatever spot. Jerry Gianco put me on.
Hilarious.
Just like Jerry Gianco put me on he was his ring and shit the first fight, but been there every time of my firsts and fights. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry's a good cat, very honorable guy, you know. OG man, fuck. Legend guy. I was just at a wedding with him, and I saw him, and I'm like, Jerry, I want to announce. I've been going over my guest's Instagram account and going through his career and watching him up on stage there, and I'm like, I got to do this. There comes a time in a man's life he's got to step up and have some fucking nuts, right?
Yeah, some goals.
Hey man, the only way that you'll know that you're good at this is if you know, of course, you shoot your shot and just go for it. That's all you can do. So respect to you for doing that.
What are the top 3 things that I need to know to become a good quality ring announcer?
You want me to be honest with you?
Yeah, I 100% want you to be honest, yeah.
Number one.
Nice suit.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
is that...
that's one of them.
Oh, is it?
That's one of them. Like, how you got to look the part. Actually, I want to give a big shout out to my good friend, big brother Paul Cheng.
Oh,
He
nice.
he actually told me that, you know, why if anyone's gonna ever take you seriously, you have to look the part. So you have to have the fly suit to go with the good voice.
Yeah.
This is not in order, by the way. So you got to have the suit. You got to have the enthusiasm. And number 3, you just got to have fun.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
Right? The minute that
Don't take it so serious.
yeah, don't take it so seriously.
Do
When
your
you-
job, be professional.
Thank you.
But don't take it serious, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just have fun while you're in there. You know, enjoy the moment. Actually, there's one more thing I need to add. The number one thing that people are there for, it's not for you, the announcer. It's for the guys in the ring.
Yeah.
So don't forget that.
Yes.
When you go into any ring or cage, and I'm going to share this with anyone that might be aspiring to be a ring announcer, no one's paying admission to see you perform. So it's your job to do your best and make these guys sound like men and women. Just make them sound like they're the champion of the world every single time.
As a talent, you obviously love hearing yourself and watching yourself. How do you separate yourself from that?
I don't, because like I'm one and the same every single time. Just because, you know, I've really loved professional fighting and professional wrestling since forever, since I was young.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Bloodsport and Enter the Dragon.
Yes.
I'm absolutely obsessed with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Anything to do with fighting, like my grandfather, I used to watch boxing with him on TSN. We used to watch like whatever was on, Tyson and Holyfield and Roy Jones and Riddick Bowe and a lot of those guys. And it just kind of like carried over, and it's just this obsession with combat and with spectating and enjoying it. I've always been this way for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment that captured you
As an
as
announcer
a kid?
or as a kid?
When you first like, wow, this is crazy.
I would say it was probably watching Bloodsport, seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Those were the days.
Legend.
Those were
Right?
the days.
Even to this day, I could still watch Bloodsport at home, and I'll know the movie word for word.
Of course,
Wow.
of course.
But those are great movies. Those are like kid cult classics. You know what I mean? For our times, right?
And I think what was really different about what Van Damme did compared to what all of the other martial arts movies did before that, the slow-mo and the little tiny replays that they would throw in between strikes, it just added so much flair to the contact. And obviously he was a ballerina.
Yeah,
so
of
he
course,
made
of course.
everything look fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was 1 against 1. And you would see Bruce Lee 1 against fucking 15, 16, 21 guys at times, right?
Yeah.
So I think Van Damme really like personalized the contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also, Bruce Lee, without a doubt, he's one of my heroes. I have a painting of him on my wall in my room, actually.
dope.
Right? But, I feel like Jean-Claude Van Damme, he epitomized 80s martial arts culture, because when you saw that, he brought that element of cool. He was the guy that every man wanted to be and every woman wanted to be with.
Facts.
Facts.
It's because the kung fu or the martial artists or there was this time in action movies where the lead banged the chicks.
Always.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was a time when they didn't. Right before that, they never banged the chick until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Claude started banging him halfway through.
Well, and I think what was
Right?
different about him is that he was like a really
It was different.
good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, fuck it, I don't need to save you. I'm gonna bang you while we're getting chased. That's how badass I truly am.
It's pretty dope.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna wake up. And when you wake up, I'm gonna be doing the splits between two fucking chairs.
Yeah.
While the
Ass
sun
out.
is coming up.
Ass out.
Right?
Yeah,
Ass out.
ass out.
In a loincloth,
every single,
by the way.
every single Van Damme movie from that era, they had to have one Van Damme ass shot
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Honestly, man, if you look like that,
Yeah.
why the fuck not?
Yeah, of
it just
course,
doesn't make
of
any
course.
sense to
For
to
sure.
not flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some ass out shots when you were young.
Fuck no.
No.
No ass out shots. No.
No.
I wasn't much into public displays of nudity.
Huh.
As you know, people would moon. And
But you're
all
always
that
in
shit.
shape.
Yeah, but you know what? Like even like taking my shirt off and shit all the time, I was kind of like, meh.
Oh.
You know, because I don't know, dude. I was like,
Interesting.
but that's not true, because there were some times when I was young and I was super jacked. Like I had a growth spurt from 15 to 16. I grew 100 pounds.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Yeah,
Muscle.
Like all of a sudden, it started beating up my bullies, right?
Nice.
And
That
so it
changes
was
shit.
really good. So the tarp was off at that particular time, right? But then I got started becoming, one with the
You call it
with
the tarp?
boxing.
Tarp was-
Right? My hands are deadly weapons. I was once in court and the judge is like, Mr. Oulton, your hands are deadly weapons, and I was like, fuck yeah, they are. I'm like, yes, they are. I didn't even think about that till the judge said that.
Of course.
Right? As they gave me a year for punching somebody out really badly, right? So, but there's a boxing. Every boxer has that story, Every boxer.
Tyson's got a few really bad ones.
Yeah, they got all
Yeah,
those things.
yeah.
They got all those things.
Yeah.
right?
But no, I think
But that's the sport of boxing. Boxing fans are assholes. It is the biggest group of assholes you're ever going to find because they want to see someone get knocked out.
Yeah.
They don't want to sit there and see you dance for 12 rounds. They want to see someone get knocked out. Only assholes want to see someone get knocked out. If you really think about it, man.
Are you a Floyd fan?
I'm a big Floyd fan.
So you enjoy
he's
the
not an
science.
asshole.
Yeah, you enjoy the science of the sport.
100%.
So you can appreciate all the details.
Yes.
So how do you feel about the hate that he gets?
He's playing a character, right? That's one of the reasons, one of the big draws of him.
Yes.
Like people buying his pay-per-views, constantly coming to see him to fight. It's because of the small window and opportunity that he might lose, right?
Right? Assholes.
So like he's 100% taken that pro wrestling angle,
Yeah.
and he's
The
owned
villain.
up to being the villain and the heel, and he's earned a black belt in it. He's the
Yeah.
best at what he does.
He's pretty
You know,
amazing.
everyone wants. There's like I think that there's as many people that want to see him win. There's probably more that want to see him lose.
For sure. For
Right?
sure. Well, I think the thing that makes people hate him more is because he's so fucking good.
He's amazing.
Like you can't sit there and say, "Oh, he's lucky."
Yeah.
Oh,
No
he's
way.
Flawless.
What
Yeah.
celebrity can beat him? Because that's all he's going to fight. He's only
Fuck.
going to fight celebrities.
Nobody.
no one.
No one's fucking with him.
No one.
Think about a celebrity. Who would be a tough guy to get in there and really out of his weight?
I think for celebrities, there's some good MMA fighters, but not just
But
boxers.
you have to consider the rules. If you're fighting under boxing rules,
Yeah.
Nobody.
nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
He's just got
Nobody.
his shit down, eh?
Well, you know what's so crazy? Because he beat everybody.
Yeah.
All the people that are considered greats, he fucked them all up.
I guess he
Yeah,
did.
well, fuck him up is like a different choice
about
of
Wiz
words.
I'd
But
say dominate.
yeah.
I think Wiz Khalifa could beat him.
But
In Muay Thai,
Yes.
in
Maybe
Muay
in
Thai,
fighting. I think if Wiz Khalifa trained to box, his reach, it's alone would fuck Floyd up.
have you seen this motherfucker train?
Yes.
Have you seen Twist train?
yeah, but he's not on
It's
the.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, it's Muay Thai, and then there's obviously like Muay Thai is like one of my favorite like things. I train like Muay Thai and stuff, but
You don't
You
think
know.
he could convert to boxing?
no, because you have so much more tools in Muay Thai, and also like there's levels. Floyd's been working his entire
Yeah,
life to
yeah.
be the boxer that he
too
is.
late. It's too
Yeah.
late.
It's too late,
Yeah.
right?
No, I don't think there's anybody.
The only way Floyd will ever lose is if one day he says, "You know what? I don't care anymore. I'm gonna try MMA." That's the only time he'll ever lose.
Yeah, because he's never out of pocket. He never swings wildly.
Yeah.
He doesn't make mistakes like that. He doesn't
There's
get
no-
caught up in the
There's no
bullshit.
there's no wasted movement.
Yeah.
Everything that he does is so he's always like 20 steps ahead of you. Even in his old age.
Yeah.
He's still 20
All right,
steps
so who's
ahead.
your top three boxers? Top three.
Shit.
Just name three
That's a
three
big
that you
one.
like, your favorites.
Well, number one's Manny Pacquiao.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Manny.
Got Manny
Philippines represent.
Manny Pacquiao is my favorite. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two is Mike Tyson. And number three, oh shit, there's a lot of them. I guess I'd say Arturo Gotti.
Oh,
That's a good one, man.
shit.
Arturo
I ha-
Gotti's right.
yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
Arturo Gotti.
bad
Remember those
motherfucker,
fucking
man.
Arturo Gotti fights?
Yeah.
Ward against Ward.
Dude,
and
how
shit,
the
man.
fuck do you
Like,
like these guys go
wow.
15, 18 rounds, man?
Well, the thing is, like, I like Arturo Gotti not because of his technical prowess, but because he pretty much, all those things that you would learn in boxing or martial arts, he would throw the book out the window and just do it.
Yeah.
He had so much heart, and obviously that's the reason why he's rest
Yeah.
in peace. He doesn't live anymore. He had a lot of problems too.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah,
he took a lot of damage.
Yeah,
But dude, there's,
Oh,
some,
CTE,
there's something to be said about balls to the wall, man.
he actually was allegedly
You
murdered.
can talk.
But
It's all right.
he was allegedly murdered. But I mean, yeah.
So his brain was actually
Fucked.
made it to science afterwards.
Yeah.
So they
Oh,
did
right, I
tests on
remember
it,
that.
And it came back that he had like fucking 100+ concussions.
Ugh.
Yeah, that does not surprise me because that guy got hit a lot.
He lost his mind completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for a
He's
fighter
so
that
good,
fights like
though.
that.
It was a bloodbath.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like those were fights of the good old days. You would see fucking motherfuckers going off, and, bah, 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 and it was just like they were fighting to the finish. It was
Yeah.
like fucking like you
Yeah.
don't see that anymore
No.
quite like that. Those fights.
You
went
gotta
on.
love
Yeah.
people like
The
that, like
energy in
Yeah.
it.
dudes like Justin Gaethje in MMA.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I love watching Justin Gaethje
balls
fight.
to the wall.
Yeah,
Like Mike
yeah.
Perry, but Mike Perry is done.
Mike Perry's a
Pretty-
piece of
pretty-
shit.
yeah, he's a piece
I
of
don't
shit
want to
too.
say that because like I'm an announcer. Respect to Mike Perry.
He might be announcing one of his fights one day.
That's why I have to be careful with my words. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another thing that you have to remember when you're an announcer. You have to like even though like the guy across you might train with him. He might be
Yeah.
a really good friend, and you guys might have beers and stuff after. But you have to remember, all you see is red corner, blue corner.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter the result, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you. Even if you know the guy in front of you is like, yo, okay, this guy does not belong in the cage with the guy right across from him. But you know what? I'm still going to introduce you like you're the champion of the world.
Yeah.
Because that's my job.
And on that note, High Phrase Podcast, ALITE, ACDJ, Ryan Christian Ventura.
Yeah.
We kind of go off on tangents before we do introductions. For some reason, it seems to happen.
Yeah.
But
Soft opening.
a bit of an extended one this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to Ryan Phillips
Yeah, that was
Just
way
off
more
camera.
than-
in the cut here.
Sorry
Yeah.
if I interrupted on that at all.
Oh, good. We love the passion,
Hell
man.
of a good job.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm laughing my ass off back here. I have no choice. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I just buzzed my buddy Brent Sopel in Florida, and I was like, dude,
Wow,
guess what I'm
soaps.
doing right
Wow,
now?
Yeah,
cool.
And he's like, what? Because we're on so many podcasts.
Yeah.
I've never been at somebody else's podcast set. And like, we always joke around about it.
Okay,
And
well.
I just sent him a 17-minute shot of like the of what's going on.
That's
And he's like,
dope.
he goes, I'm fucking pissing myself.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to thank the Make-A-Wish Foundation for sending Ryan over to us tonight.
Yeah, sorry for inviting
Putting him
to
into the
steal
audience.
show. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like, could you imagine, like, whoever's
Christ.
watching this right now, they don't hear anything that
They
he's
hear
saying,
nothing.
and we're just like looking at him in the
Who's
camera.
that lonely guy right in the back that's a hermit cancer that always like hides out in the woods?
Yeah.
You know, one day there'll be a fourth
my
mic,
God.
Yeah.
and we'll never have this issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
One day we'll have fourth mic.
One day I'll just never show up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not good.
And from now on, I'm not missing another fucking high phrase motherfucking
Yes.
No way.
This is what we do
Every
here.
Fucking one. I'm having the time of my life.
This is what we do. This is what we do.
So before we continue, I think
Yeah.
we didn't really say what we smoked there.
Okay, so tonight is a little special thing. It's just called Gorilla Kush. It's a nice little green Gorilla Bud that I got from some old man growing weed.
Can we shout him out?
Shout out old man.
He doesn't. Yeah, Lou. I guess. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really have Instagram. He's not. He's like, what's a podcast? Is where you grow vegetables? And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
What a
Of course.
podcast? What you talking about? Anyways, so good guy, man. It's get some good bud. You know, here's the thing, man. I went into a dispensary the other day, undercover brother, going in there to see what they were doing, right? Yeah. And I just go into dispensaries for one reason only: checking dates on products. Right? That's it. I don't buy anything.
Yeah.
I'm not an annoying customer that's like, oh, let me just see this. Checking dates, because I always want to see the date of what these things, and it's always 6 months back.
It's a joke.
What?
6 months,
It's a joke,
man.
yo.
You have to check your dates on your weed.
Okay, here's the problem. I worked at one of these dispensaries for a bit. And what happens is they grow the weed, even if they grow the weed in BC, they got to send it back to Ontario so the government can inspect it, put it in another package, send it back to BC for resale.
What the
So
fuck?
you can have weed that's been sitting on the shelf for like 90 days, untouched.
Yeah.
And by the time you get it all crispy and brown and shit, it's just not the same, man.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
Nobody knows, but I smoke weed every day while riding my bike across Canada.
Oh my God.
It was good for my mental health. And when I was in
Brian,
Toronto,
listen, Brian, we're going to get you on in the last fucking 10 minutes, okay?
I
We're going to put Ryan on this 10 minutes.
Like
You got it. We're going to have to ask security to move you to the back.
You know what the crazy thing is?
I
I think we've met twice, and they're so similar. It's ridiculous. Do you guys ever talk and feel like you're looking in a mirror?
Yeah, well, we're 10 days apart.
Yeah.
He's July 8th, I'm July 18th.
Listen, I got way too excited there.
Yeah, he's too excited. He's too excited. We're easygoing.
Oh, yeah.
We just gotta.
I'm gonna get in trouble after this. I know it.
We'll get you in. We'll get you in. We'll give you some camera time
Mike's an
at the
enforcer.
end.
Mike
We
could be
promised
the
the Easter seals that we would do that.
The Easter seals and the Rotary Club.
Yes, we promised.
So
And wear your kilt.
this is supposed to be what we call our Toke Talk segment.
Talk.
And we just basically introduce the chronic that we smoke.
Yeah.
This is going to be
good.
some Death Bubba that we'll get to in a minute.
Death Bubba.
Yeah. But back to the fight thing. I'm obsessed as well. So how do you feel about Connor's situation right now?
Man, I have like mixed feelings about it. Like I think you know, I have a feeling that he's almost become the character that he's created. You know, like he's sort of like living. He's trying to like live the gimmick too much. Do you know what I mean?
All in.
That's all he's got, really.
I feel like the Connor that beat Eddie Alvarez and ended up facing Floyd in the boxing exhibition. That's not the same Connor, because the Connor that beat Eddie Alvarez, I was fully convinced that there was going to be no one that could beat that guy
savage.
at 155 pounds. I felt like that year and the year after, like if he just stuck with focusing on MMA and like realizing if you keep becoming a winner, like you're much more valuable in these exhibitions and then businesses and all that stuff. If you just keep winning, you know, no, like who cares? Like all right, he beat Eddie Alvarez, but he never like defended his title.
Means nothing.
He beat Jose Aldo, never defended his title, and all the big fights that he's had after the exhibition, no one ever thought that he had a chance against Floyd.
Yeah, no.
Right? No one gave him a shot. No. But I mean, when coming back to MMA, like, you know, when you start losing all the guys like Habib and, you know, all the greats, you know, no one takes a guy that's losing seriously.
Yeah,
you have to win.
That's
and you have to beat
line.
the top guys.
Yeah.
You can't, no offense to Donald Cerrone. He's one of my all-time favorite fighters.
sure.
But like, you know, when he fought Conor, that wasn't like, you know, young Donald Cerrone.
Yeah,
That wasn't
know?
a good showing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's top 5 anymore either. I don't think he has any business fighting anybody in the top 5.
Yeah.
No way. I don't
Yeah.
think so, personally.
No, but this is where it's separated, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. But I think Dana's got such a stranglehold on the league that there's no option for fighters to decide. You know, if a top 5 has to fight Conor, they have to fight him.
Yeah.
They can't say no to fights in UFC.
Yeah, well, that, and also because like right now he's the money fight. But I mean, if he keeps losing, there's gonna be nothing left to like
that'll
milk.
be gone.
There's gonna be nothing left. There's gonna be no
Yeah.
more money fights.
Yeah, I think Khabib was the biggest eye opener. I did not expect. I mean, Khabib's the fucking best. The best to ever fight at that weight class. But
Easily.
I did not think Conor was gonna get run over like that. I thought there'd be a little more striking, a little more power from Conor, but fuck, Khabib just smoked his ass.
Yeah.
Smothered him.
Yeah, like dude, Alite Quinta put up a better showing. Took him 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but also too, he took that fight on very short notice, and Khabib was preparing for someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, but Khabib was always prepared.
Always.
And I don't know how many other fighters are trapped in this situation as well, but I was watching GSP talk in an interview, and this guy cannot fight in any other league until he's 38.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's signed to they basically say you fight, they have you for perpetuity, your contract.
Wow.
And you can't fight anywhere else. So
What a
GSP,
crazy
he's wanted to do exhibition boxing matches and other MMA fights in other leagues, but nah, he can't go. And he's like the biggest star in the UFC.
Well, it was actually supposed to be him versus Oscar De La Hoya in September, but then the UFC, put the brakes on that real fast, and instead it's actually gonna be De La Hoya and Vitor Belfort.
Oh, really?
And Vitor can do as much fucking TRT as he wants.
This is why Conor and Floyd will go down in history as the people who started it.
The one.
Yeah.
They started what is now going to be fighting in the future, dude.
Yeah.
And if you ever remember in movies and where it was based in the future and they had fighting events, you ever remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would always be like, oh, tonight this guy battles that guy in the fucking arena, and it's the future. That's what we're headed to. We're headed to big celebrity balls first. No, it's going to happen.
I don't like it.
It's going to happen.
I don't like it.
It's already happening behind the scenes, and they're already making money.
Dude,
But
Jake and Logan are hugely responsible
because
for this.
it's really about marketing. And right, you can't watch commercials anymore. They have to find new ways to market products. Right? So they fucking do events, dude. And Ice Cube is smart in the basketball. Let's get the old guys in there and let's have 3-on-3. Right? And have a league. You're never a wasted brand anymore. Before it was like, oh, you're too old, your brand's up. Yeah. Now it's more opportunities. If you can stay in shape as an athlete, there's lots of opportunities with your brand if it's big enough, right?
Do you watch these Logan and Jake Paul fights?
Yeah, I do. I like to call these type of events exhibitions.
Yes.
Because to me, as a guy that works in the industry, I see people and I understand, how hard it is to be at the highest level. So in my opinion, to call these events a fight, I don't think that's fair to those guys.
100%.
So I call it exhibition, but you know what? You have to give respect to the Paul brothers in the sense, not just the marketing sense, but also they actually do take their training seriously. They take their craft seriously. Yeah. But the thing is, the reason why they're able to take that shit seriously is because they made so much money from streaming and Twitch and all that.
They got shit else to do.
Yeah, that's their hobby. Because if I was able to, full-time being a ring announcer and I can just go to the dojo and train martial arts anytime I wanted, I'd be pretty fucking good too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right? But that's the thing. That's what they've built towards, right?
Yeah, it's this is their hobby. Yeah. This is almost like their hobby. Their hobby that's actually turned into a much big money making venue.
They literally have brought back the status of boxing single-handedly with their events. You watch on YouTube.
I hate that you're right. But you are
brutal.
Right.
It's because think about this. Really, boxing has changed a lot. It's gone from a multitude of stars to the sport banking on one or two stars to really float the business. Yep. They knew that MMA is too strong. People love MMA, and MMA is only going to grow into something more. Yep. There's going to be more entertainment.
It's already the fastest growing sport in the world,
man.
so
and it's just going to be a giant, whether it's UFC or whoever it is. One looks pretty powerful too, man. Yeah. They've got some big stars.
I'd love to work there one day. That's my dream.
That's amazing.
That's one of my dreams.
Amazing how
they have a bigger market than UFC. They got that whole international market, man.
Well, the one thing that really appeals to me is because I'm of Filipino descent. They do a big chunk of their events in Southeast Asia and the Philippines. So I'd love to do a fight there one day. But what's crazy too, going back to those celebrity boxing matches and how that's the future. Get this. So there's going to be that 10-year-old kid who grew up watching Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. And guess what? He could be world champion one day.
Yes.
And that's because he saw that. That inspired him. That's their gateway into it. Kind of like how people got into martial arts through the Karate Kid.
Because he can't fight
Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah, because in reality he can't fight, but the character itself.
Yeah, and I love the Karate Kid. It's super cheesy and corny, but it's one of my favorite things of all time. I love Cobra Kai. Yeah. But I'm just saying that Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather may have helped create the kid to be the world champion one day.
Boxing, man.
So right.
Yeah.
They saved it. you know, just like Conor McGregor really boosted MMA.
Oh, huge, in a huge way. Yeah,
if it
for
wasn't
sure.
for Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
I don't think MMA would be as powerful.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Conor was big.
I could totally see
Yeah,
that.
he was instrumental for sure.
Yeah.
It's
He played a big part.
big, and you think of all the stars they had that really boosted it, right? But they really rode off of the Gracie name for a long time,
Yeah.
building that business,
Yeah.
right? Building that brand.
And I think the crazy thing about Conor is, dude, when he started in UFC, he was fucking smoking people.
Yeah, he was smoking.
And not just beating people, like destroying them. And he really set it off like this guy's a dangerous fucking guy.
Yeah.
And now when we see him in this situation starting to lose, he's not an old guy.
Yeah.
But it's definitely obvious that some part of the hunger is just fucking...
No, well, there's that famous saying. I think it was it might have been Marvin Hagler. Please don't bash me if I fuck it up. But when you're sleeping in silk sheets, it's hard to like get out of bed.
Yeah.
You know what's
the morning,
fucking
right?
nuts? He actually brought up the same quote last week.
Yeah.
The same one.
The exact same quote. We had
Yeah.
Sal on the podcast. We were talking about fights.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sal brought up Hagler, and he fucking dropped that quote. That's nuts.
Yeah, dude. It's
Marvin
I followed
Hagler.
his life. Like that was who was my training inspiration when I was a fighter. It's Hagler, right? I was like, loved him. Slept on the floor, everything.
Fought like him, too.
Fought like him.
Balls
too,
to the wall.
Except I moved my head.
That's good.
As I dodge punches, man. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, man. Just didn't give a fuck. Move forward the whole fight. Swing at everything.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like a truck.
And I mean, you brought up Van Damme and Bloodsport earlier. Even with a guy like Van Damme, inspired one of the greatest martial artists ever in George St. Pierre. But Van Damme can't.
Yo, that's so true.
And
Dude,
Van
that's so
Damme-
true.
Van
GSP
Damme
was
can
inspired
fight.
by Van Damme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
French guy, right?
Yeah, he never would have been a MMA fighter if Van Damme didn't show up on his screen, right? And Van Damme can't fight.
Yeah.
So
That's so true.
It's a legacy there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So who's the best top 3 on-screen ass kickers? Who do you think was the best? The best of the best.
That's a
top
great
3
fucking category.
on-screen.
My favorites?
Yes, favorites. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is putting me on the spot.
I
Can
would do
can-
this. This is how we do
There's
it
some
on the
great
phrase.
ones.
You know, I'm actually gonna say number 1 is Master Bruce Lee.
Ooh.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Bruce Lee's number 1 for me. Number
God
2 is
level.
Van Damme, and number 3, you know what? It actually might be Jason Statham.
Ooh.
Oh, he's got some good.
Right,
Shout
like
out Jason
I remember
Statham.
some of the stuff that he
Yeah.
was able to do in the Transporter.
Yeah.
Transporter
When he
was
could
such a
walk
good
properly.
movie. Great action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really
He had
good.
like 5 movies in a row that were
Did
all
he do
the
his
same.
own shit, his stunts and shit?
Some
Or
of
no?
them.
Some of them.
They did some fucked up shit in those movies.
Yeah.
He can do all of it.
He had like a. I mean, let's be honest. Like Van Damme didn't do a lot of his stuff
Nah,
either, right?
no.
But I mean, like obviously, like when you do the kicks and all that,
Yeah.
that's him.
He's too pretty, man. They're
Yeah.
not gonna
How
let him
about
get
like
hurt.
Jackie Chan?
Yeah, Jackie Chan's excellent.
Amazing.
But
good
I
his
didn't
shit.
have him on my ass kickers list
Yeah.
because a lot of the times
He's
Jackie
dodging
Chan,
people.
he's the one actually getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? Like he would get thrown off buildings
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bridges and all
Fuck,
kinds
he's
of crazy shit.
Jet Li, remember Jet
Oh,
Li's
Jet-
little
actually,
run?
Jet-
Jet Li's
Li
pretty
was
dope.
great. Jet Li was
Well,
great. Excellent.
Bruce Lee said that Jackie Chan is the second best martial artist in the world behind him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Bruce
that
had
real?
huge
Bruce
affinity.
really said that?
Yeah.
Shit,
But
I gotta
because
look
it
Jackie,
up.
Jackie Chan was in Enter the Dragon, right?
Yeah, that's right. When he was just the stuntman.
Young kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, Jackie Chan is fucking certified.
Yeah.
I love all of it. And the crazy thing about Jackie Chan is, dude, he always did his own fucking stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Right
scene,
to the end
man.
until he couldn't do them anymore and
Yeah.
he stopped.
Yeah, he's
acting.
too old for that shit. Yeah.
Took a lot of abuse.
Jet
for sure.
Li looks really rough now, though. If you've seen Jet Li,
Yeah,
he's just got.
Who's your top 3?
My top 3
Yeah.
ever? Okay. Well, for movie purposes
For movie
only,
purposes only.
100%. The first time that I saw Bruce Lee was at my one and only Asian friend growing up as a child in my school. He was the only Chinese kid in our school, and everybody was picking on him. So, of course, Mike was his friend, right? And so I used to go to his house, and he's like, you ever watch Bruce Lee? I'm like, no. Let's watch it. It was all in Mandarin, I guess. So
Yeah.
Cantonese would be Cantonese.
Yeah.
Right? So we watched it, and I was like, "No, what? What was that, dude? Changed me, man."
everything.
I was maybe 8 years old, probably.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So Bruce Lee, I think on any sensible man has him on the fucking top of the list. Right?
Hell yeah.
sure.
Right?
Hell yeah.
You just can't even do it.
100%.
Number 2, growing up with Jean-Claude Van Damme, making all those movies, man, like it inspired you to believe that you could do the splits because you saw, right?
That's so true. I tried that shit in my PJs
Every
as
man
a
tried
kid.
it.
I tried that when I was a kid.
It
Failed
made you
miserably.
think you could do it.
Did you get there?
No.
Did you get there?
No, fuck no. Right? But you believed you would be able to do it, right?
Yeah,
and so every guy has done the chairs,
Oh, for sure.
right? You've tried to do the chair, right? So that happens. And then number 3 for entertainment purposes only, man, Steven Seagal.
Yo,
nice.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. He had some, like you know what I mean? Like, that's just entertainment purposes
Aikido, yeah.
only. You know what I mean? It was pretty, it would just fuck up any gangster.
Yeah,
Russian gangster, Italian
Yeah,
gangster.
that's so true.
Hey.
Oh shit! Actually, you know what? I kind of fucked up. I should have said Keanu Reeves too. Legit.
He's pretty good. He's got,
fucking-
his John
dude,
Wick
John
is
Wick.
John
pretty
Wick
good.
is John Wick
With
and
his
his
eyes
Neo,
open.
of course, and his
Neo, yeah.
Neo, of course. Wow.
Dude, Steven Seagal had a run in the 90s where he had every movie that came out had 3-word titles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he had the fucking ponytail. And how legit do you think his Aikido is?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think? Do you think it's legit?
Well, I've seen videos of him
Yeah.
in real life, and I'm like, are these actors hired to just
jumping around.
yeah? And then I don't know if I can tell a story. I have a friend who's in the business with him, and he went on him, and Steven Seagal kept kicking him in the balls.
What a motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, you kick me in the balls one more time, it's gonna be on, right? And so I think Steven, had to walk away, he felt the tension or whatever, right? So, do I think he's good? Yeah, I think he knows his moves, but I think any boxer, like a professional boxer, would fuck him up.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
100%. Like I seen like those
Right.
videos of him, like he would like grab your thumb and drag
Yeah.
you around the room and then just twirl you around.
No matter all these MMA guys and the jiu-jitsu and all that, and try to grab your leg and grab you, dude. Like Mike Tyson at his prime would demolish all of them.
That's why you would run.
Yeah,
If Mike
you
Tyson
would-
was trying to
you
swing
would
at you,
run,
you'd run
yeah.
away.
In his
Don't
prime,
try to
he was
fight
too
him. Fuck
angry.
that.
No. You would have to dodge until you could grab a body part. And the likeliness of that happening is very low.
I would just say fuck that. I'd drop everything and run away.
Yeah. Because dude, Tyson at his prime would come so low that he would be doing squats with his butt to the almost to the canvas almost.
I know.
And then coming up from there with uppercuts. What the fuck do you do?
Whenever I'd watch like his old fights and highlights, I'd just look at him like I'm fucking terrified. You know,
Terrified.
everything that he throws just looks like he'll murder you.
Yeah, it's he's a bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
But okay, so jiu-jitsu is that one thing though. Is the equalizer in any fight.
It is.
If you are good enough to at least take a partial hit from Mike and you can grab an arm, you rip it off.
Yeah,
Fight's over.
You'll break his
If you
shit.
can pull his arm,
Because he would have no defense.
but he's so fucking
Okay,
strong.
so are we like talking about like we have no choice but to fight Mike Tyson or can
Yes.
we run?
No.
Oh God.
No, you have no option but to fight.
Do we have weapons?
No. Hand to
So
hand.
let's say you
Shit.
let's say you put the current heavyweight champion,
Yeah.
Which one?
Negranu or whatever.
Ngannou?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, MMA. Okay.
Right? Against Mike in his prime.
In boxing or MMA?
In a fight.
What rules?
Just a fight.
So like that means like I can throw a rock at his head.
Just hand to hand.
Okay.
Just hand to hand.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Right.
that's fucking
So but
Grab
wait,
his-
but no,
he can
but
grab
in
his arm, he can,
but Ngannou can like kick and grapple.
yeah,
Yes.
And,
all of it.
oh, he'll fuck up Mike Tyson.
Because
so?
it'll be a tackle.
Yeah, because if you're allowed to kick and take down and knee and throw elbows, can you headbutt? No, you can't headbutt.
No, I think it would be like MMA rules.
Yeah.
Oh, so just straight up MMA rules.
Yes.
Francis Ngannou gave up.
Would run through him.
Yeah, he'd run through him.
He's too big. He's too big.
So boxing then is really obsolete because it used to be boxing was elite, the
Yeah.
elitist, right? So now it's like but it's such a craft that every fighter has to be good at, right?
Yeah,
Well,
of
you could
course.
see it even in the most elementary times, dude. When Muhammad Ali had that exhibition fight against the kickboxer,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
kickboxer kid cracking Ali's legs, and Ali didn't
Oh,
know how to do
that
anything.
wasn't a kickboxer. That was legendary professional wrestler Antonio Inoki.
Right. And Oki-
So,
that's
so the
right,
so
yeah.
the what was part of the rules and stipulations? Apparently, Ali's camp didn't want to fight him unless
Yeah.
they agreed to this one rule: no holds allowed, no standing strikes.
Yeah.
You have to like touch the ring and then throw a kick.
yeah.
Oh wow.
At,
Yeah.
Like that was the only weapon he had.
Yeah.
weird.
Those were the stipulations. You couldn't grapple, none of that.
Yeah, no, Ali, because that's not Ali's world, right? He had none of that going.
So it's like, that's the only way he's allowed to hit me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he didn't realize that getting kicked in the legs a bunch of times is bad for you.
And fucking sucks.
And it fucked up his legs and arguably ruined his career after.
Yeah, because I remember there were a couple of points where he was like holding onto the ropes and like jumping and trying to avoid him. Like, this is a fucking circus show.
wow.
It's not good.
Yeah,
that's
but
not
but before we started having these crossovers where you'd have like, you know, you'd have like CM Punk going to MMA, or you'd have like Floyd and Connor, and now the Pauls and everything. That was pretty much the original circus when you had Antonio Inoki fight Muhammad Ali under those rules.
Yeah.
And then bullshit rules.
I think James Toney was the next victim.
Oh yes, yeah. James Toney's one of the
Randy
OGs of
Couture.
that too. Yeah.
Couture fucked him up, man.
Yeah.
It was such a
was
bad
really
idea. It just should never have happened.
Yeah.
Well,
really bad.
Tony needed money apparently.
Oh,
Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, you know, these boxers that come from nowhere.
And then they had Butterbean. Remember Butterbean?
Yeah,
His-
but you know, Butterbean fought. You don't respect the Butterbean. He fought every rule set, like for real. He's one of the few guys. Like he fought boxing, he fought MMA, he fought kickboxing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't matter. It didn't matter the rules. If people were willing to pay to see him fight,
Yeah.
he'll do it.
Well, how do you fucking hurt a guy with a neck like that?
Yeah, it would be pretty hard.
Fucking-
And he just tightens up. Yeah, how you can't even affect him.
And if he hits you, you're gonna fucking hurt.
Or imagine how fucked up it would be, like, because he doesn't know how to grapple. But if somehow he found a way to get on top of you,
Yeah.
you are so fucked.
You're fucked.
You're so fucked.
No. Okay, so we brought up Francis Ngannou earlier, and it's kind of annoying to see what the UFC's done to him right after he beat Stipe in the most convincing way you could beat somebody. And all he wanted was another 2 months, and UFC said no. They were trying to give him a 4-month turnaround time to fight Derek Lewis and defend the strap. And he said, no, I need 2 extra months. UFC said, okay, now we'll have an interim title. It's been 4 fucking months.
Crazy. And who won that interim? What was his name?
Cyril Gone.
Yeah.
Good fighter.
Now Cyril gets to fight Ngannou for the strap. How do you see that going?
Oh, man. Honestly, I don't know how that could go. I think that could be 50-50.
Oh, really?
Like, logically, you would think, because Cyril, he's a really technical fighter. And he's like he hits guys at pinpoint precision. Like with Derek Lewis, it wasn't so much the one shot that got Derek Lewis. It was accumulative shots, right?
Yeah.
And like he might be able to do that to Francis. But I think Francis, the way that he fought Stipe, it's like, God, that's really hard to beat.
Ooh, dude, seeing Francis with form was fucking scary, man.
And patience.
Yeah, and using footwork and timing, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Especially this quickly into his career as an MMA fighter. But I think Derek Lewis just fought a terrible fight in front of his home city, opportunity of a lifetime, and he came out flat, wasn't throwing strikes, just waiting for one hand. It's just not a good look, man.
No, well, it also shows that there's levels to it, and you can't just have that one weapon.
Yeah.
You have to have so many different like options to win.
Yeah, you're just waiting.
Right? Because with Derek Lewis, you know, I'm a really big Derek Lewis fan.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the
sure.
Black Beast and everything. But, you know, realistically, if you're just going to rely on that one shot and not try to improve in other parts of the game, maybe he's just not physically capable of doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck.
Right? Just because, like, when you look at his body, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think mentally he's fucking... The guy just goes through such weird swings in his fights mentally. Like, he's prepared sometimes, he's not prepared sometimes, he's kind of just fucking wandering around sometimes. It's just really weird to see. And he's been able to get by with that insane power, man.
Yeah. That without that power, like, there were so many fights where he was losing.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He's fighting that big, tall Russian guy who was on the same card as Habib and Conor.
Yes.
No, yeah, Drago. He kind of looks like him. I can't remember. Volkov. I think it's Volkov. Right? Volkov was messing him up the entire fight, and all it took was one.
Big fucking
Few
cannon.
seconds left in the third. He would have won the decision, and Derek Lewis hits him with one of his legendary
Just
punches.
crumpled him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see him getting a title shot anytime anywhere
No,
soon.
no. I think like what could happen with him, it could be. I think it could actually get to the point where it'd be like the Nick Diaz route, where it doesn't matter if Nick Diaz loses, the people still love him and they still want to see him fight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Derek Lewis. You know, it doesn't matter who you put Derek Lewis in front of. If he can get the knockout, people will continue to pay him.
Yeah, and dude, Nick almost had it.
Yeah.
Almost had it.
He was losing that entire fight.
Oh, fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, Nick Diaz just gets bloodied and beaten and
He
bruised.
stops caring.
His skin is made out of paper mache. him and his brother Nick, they cut easily.
Yeah.
They cut easily.
Yeah, it's a lot of scar tissue up there.
Yeah.
But dude, fifth round, he had him beat. if his leg wasn't so fucked up, he would have been able to react much quicker.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he hits that 1-2 and he stops. He's like,
Yeah, I got you.
those 3 seconds, you could have ended the fight if
Yeah.
you could just explode in. But dude, Leon went to work on that leg, man.
Yeah, he did. That's what you're supposed to do against
Yeah.
a Diaz brother.
Yeah, and we had a you know Shelly
Yeah, yeah.
Hollis. Yeah, we had him on the podcast a few weeks ago. We were talking about Nick and Nate, and he's in Stockton area, so he's gotten to see these guys over the years, and we were talking about the punch drunkenness that you see now in Nate. It's kind of scary, man.
Yeah, a little bit. Shout to Shelly though. I haven't seen him in a long
Shelly
time.
Hollis. Yeah, it's I think he's one of the few MMA fighters that you can physically hear it and see it, because like you can
Yeah.
see almost
Just
like
takes
a
so
whole
much.
side of his face doesn't work very well anymore, right? So I think he's the rarity though, because there's not a lot of fighters that take the kind of abuse he takes.
Yeah.
He fucking gets punished, man.
Yeah.
Even in those Connor fights, man, he got fucked up. Connor landed some bombs on his face,
Wow.
but some dudes just fucking suck it up.
They just take it, right? It's a mindset.
You really think so?
It's a mindset. Yeah, it's a state of mind to be able to take punishment like that.
You ever been fucking rocked like that?
But listen, just you got to understand that state of mind doesn't just like say, "Hey, I'm going to be that guy."
Yeah.
That comes from years of practice. So you get good at taking shots like that.
Fuck.
Okay, so you think about all the damage that it takes you to become good at being that. No, at taking that many shots.
But don't you think it's detrimental at the same time?
Of course it is, but it's a mindset that you take on as a fighter to say you don't care, because you want to. You know, the thing is people identify with what they really love. You know, I mean, that's how you identify yourself. And so those guys love fighting, so they will only identify themselves as fighters. I think it's up there. So everything about being a fighter, they subconsciously want to have that, or maybe consciously want to have that. So that's punch drunk, that's scars on your face, that's no pain. You know, when I was a fighter, dude, I would go to a party, okay? I'd take off my shirt.
You were that
Talking
guy.
about taking off my
You
shirt.
were
No, I'd
that
take
guy.
off my shirt, I'd take off my belt, I'd put $100 fucking bucks on the table, and I'd say, anybody think that they can
Thank you, bro.
whip me with my belt across my back? You can whip me as hard as you can. I won't flinch.
What the
And
fuck?
I'll bet you $100. It's famous for it. And so I put $100, and people were like, "Yes, boom, $100." I guess I'm not selling those chairs. Go get the other one. There's another one out there. Yeah, buddy, go get the other chair. Right? Why is it every time we have someone in the audience, it's always a gong show? Always a gong show.
Who else do we have?
We had Heavy. Shout out
Heavy.
to Daniel.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
You can't help it because it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I know. This is
But
what we
you
do
said-
here.
Observer, I forgot. To
Anyways,
put the
but
podcast on.
anyways, anyways, boxers are mindset.
Wait.
Fighters in general.
So you would take your fucking shirt off and have people whip
fuck
your
yeah,
back?
but that's the thing. That's what boxers do. Nate and his brother probably do that too.
So
somehow.
what do you think it is?
Punch
You think
me
it's
in
like
the
a
face.
you think
Punch
it's
me
like
in the
a
stomach.
You think it's like a power bar that eventually just runs out and your brain stops taking it?
What do you mean with fighting?
Yeah, because eventually it ends. Eventually, dudes cannot take hits anymore. I don't give a fuck how tough you are.
Chuck Liddell.
100%.
Chuck Liddell.
One of
That
the
immediately
baddest
comes to mind.
motherfuckers in the world.
That guy used to be able to take shots too.
Keep swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you eventually get to a point where your brain and body are just like, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, and it's a separation from that. Like what it actually isn't that you is that you get tired of it. What actually happens is that you wake up. So what happens in the mind of a fighter isn't that they're like all of a sudden, I think I better take it easy. No, it's one day they wake up and they go, holy fuck, what have I been doing? And that's when doubt creeps in your head. As soon as the doubt creeps in your head, it's over for you. You have to stop. If you don't stop, you start getting hurt. Evander Holyfield. Heard it. Dude, you know what, dude? Connor heard that voice when
think
he
so?
broke his leg. 100%. Connor sat in that hospital bed with a broken leg with just his wife there and no friends. And he probably thought, you know what? This is it. I gotta stop.
A piece of the armor fell off.
Yeah.
Oh,
It happens.
Scary.
Because it creeps into you eventually, right?
it's
and
deep.
It does. It creeps into you eventually. So it isn't that, but it isn't that you're losing anything. What you're actually doing is you're gaining perspective.
Bars.
Right? Well, because you've put in that work to gain that perspective. Some people gain it in different ways. You know, you can go through serious trauma and gain it, or you can just have a breakup with somebody and gain it. Like, it doesn't have to be the hard route.
Yeah.
But with a fighter, it's always the hard way.
So have you ever been smashed like that, like borderline?
I've never lost a fight.
Have you ever been KO'd in training or like
Never lost a
smashed in
fight.
training? Just balls deep all the time.
I've been beat up
Yeah.
by an old man in a boxing ring as when I was training as a fighter.
Yeah.
He was 60 years old and he southpawed me and taught me a lesson of respect. Right. And I was like, okay, he was from Vegas, some ex-training pro from Vegas. And I was like, okay, cool, man. And then Jason Height beat me up in training once. You might know Jason.
Yeah, I know Jason. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He beat me up. Shout out to Jason Height. In fighting, he was a class fighter though, like world-class fighter.
Yeah.
Jason Height was amazing. So those are two lessons I learned from southpaws, and it just you have to get those kind of experiences, right? But in like, ding, 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 this fight counts for something. Be it in the ring or in prison or in anywhere, I've not lost a fight.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That's some
man.
shit.
Fuck, it's good. You got to just, but that's what it is. It's mindset. It isn't toughness. Because there's a lot of fights you get out of.
Yeah.
And that's fucking kind of the key, really, to survival, right? Is knowing when to fight.
Yeah, I can't ever see you getting into a fight with somebody. You're way
I've
too
walked
fucking
away
nice.
a lot of fights.
Yeah. I see that.
Not that I think I'm going to lose, but that you just...
You're just a nice guy now.
No, it's just kind of like you just go, what's the point? Like, because you wake up as a fighter.
Yeah. For
Eventually
real.
you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm not a fighter. Holy shit. I've been a guy portraying a fighter for a long time. Right? And that's where I think, Floyd had that years and years ago. And he just said, you know what, dude? This is me making money now.
I'm the best.
I think he lost that. I think he's like, I can do this with my eyes closed. I don't have to train.
It looks like it sometimes. Yeah.
Because really he doesn't. His style, he doesn't have to train very hard.
His cardio is going to be phenomenal, though.
Just run every day.
Yeah. His cardio is unlike anybody else's. That motherfucker never gets tired.
His mindset, he lost it a long time ago. If he didn't, he'd try to knock people out. He'd be like, at least let me get some knockouts in my career.
None.
Yeah.
Right? Never once.
Yeah,
Right? What does that tell you about somebody? Because that's all people want, is that he's not about that. He rode the perfect record. If he had one loss, he would not be Floyd Mayweather. If he had one loss.
Yeah. He can live on that for the rest of his life.
He rode that zero
Yeah.
for his entire career.
I mean, dude, it's kind of amazing.
They marketed the shit out of it.
Who
It was brilliant.
gets to leave
Brilliant.
with the zero at 50 fights? Very few. I think Rocky Marciano had a undefeated record with 50 wins or something, but that's so fucking rare.
Yeah.
To me, Ali is the greatest combat sports athlete ever, and for me, it's obviously more who he was as a person outside of the fighting as well.
Yeah.
But he's got some horrible losses, man. He's got some really bad losses. Some
Yeah,
fights
he does.
Fights he should have never taken. Situations he should have never been in.
Yeah.
You're the greatest fighter of all time, and you're broke and you're 40. That's terrible.
Yeah,
That
it's
should
pretty
never
bad.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So
A
when
lot of the athletes did that.
yeah,
right?
in
Like
the
they
80s
actually-
and the 90s was bad.
They lost all their money. Well, they didn't get paid that much, and inflation killed them.
Yeah,
Right? They didn't really get paid that much if you think about it. Back then, it felt like a lot.
yeah.
But as the time, then the inflation and
Well, I
the
mean-
taxes.
Well, it's also too. You have to think about like the people that probably taken advantage of them in their
Yes.
careers.
Yeah,
like the
rip
Don
them off.
Kings and all
Dude,
that.
he is slime, man.
Yeah.
That dude is the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done it in every era of boxing.
Yeah.
70s, 80s, 90s. He's been all
I mean,
over it.
he's obviously not now, but like.
Yeah, he's kind of out of business now, but
Yeah.
he had a good 40-year run taking boxers'
Yeah.
livelihoods away.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love when Tyson said he beat the shit out of him. That makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
So who's slimier? Don King? Don Trump? Right? Or who's the other? Who's that other? The guy? What's his name? Dana White. Who do you think? Who's the slimier one? 'Cause
Okay.
I saw a video yesterday.
No comment because I'm an announcer, so I
Yeah.
might want to work for promotion.
Yeah, yeah, no.
You know
that's-
what's irredeemable for me?
Yeah.
Irre-fucking-deemable to me when
Yeah.
you say that you would date your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say shit like my daughter's got a nice rack, or Howard Stern's telling you that your daughter's a nice piece of ass, and then you're like, oh yeah,
of course Donald Trump.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He is the slime.
Is Don King still alive and doing
He
stuff?
is. He's not doing stuff.
He's not still promoting, is he? Is he still waving the American flag like a douchebag?
Probably somewhere.
Somewhere, right? The little flags.
Still got that
Got little flags in his pocket. Gives them to little kids.
Wacky ass.
Hey there, little American. Hey, I have a flag.
He would actually make up fucking words while he was doing his promos. He's genius, but he's a fucking slimy piece of shit.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it was really crazy. Do you have aspirations to go up and do UFC? Like if they, do you know what?
Absolutely. I mean, I essentially down the road just dream of working for the biggest promotions in the world and, doing like the biggest fights. I mean, I hope to one day get to the point where I can actually make a full-time living off of it. That's
cool.
my dream. Like I don't necessarily have to be like the richest ring announcer or, who knows, maybe one day I don't ever work for the UFC, but if I can actually get enough gigs where I can be in as many places as I can be, then I feel like I'm the greatest already.
Hell yeah. The whole point is making it a living.
Yeah.
That's the number one. And after that, sky's the limit, man.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit after that. Because UFC is not the only game.
No,
right?
there's so many choices.
Dude, fighting is all over the world, man.
Yeah.
You could be in 30 different leagues that none are affiliated with UFC.
Exactly.
So, and the thing is, you love all of it.
Yeah.
So you could do kickboxing matches,
Yeah.
MMA matches outside of it as well.
Yeah.
And you do some training as well?
Yeah.
When did you start doing martial arts training?
I started doing informal martial arts training with my grandpa. He used to have like these, yeah. He would just like have like target mitts and had gloves and like he would teach me combinations and things like that. But then I actually started becoming more serious in martial arts training when I was about 18 years old. I met this guy named Judd Skinner, and he had a gym over in Richmond called New Era. And I got to learn under him, and he was teaching us the style that Michael McDonald, K1 fighter, had.
I've watched
So we learned that style of kickboxing through him. But I've dabbled a little bit in different gyms as well. But I mainly train over at FKP MMA on Fraser and 33rd,
Dope.
and that's been my main place since 2017 now.
Shout out FKP. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. What's your favorite discipline?
Striking.
Yep.
I guess if I was to consider myself something, I'd consider myself more of a kickboxer. I like the footwork, I like the striking arts and everything like that, and that's what I feel I'm most proficient at. By no means am I, going to step into the PFL cage or anything like that one day. Who knows? But I mean, I train hard when I go there, and I really like it.
So you would consider fighting?
Yeah, like I actually would like to, I'd like to just tick off one experience. So I'd like to
a
do
Tiger Bomb or
well, I already did the Western Canadians in 2018.
Oh, dope. Okay.
I won silver in kickboxing my weight class, right?
That's awesome, man.
But I mean, I'd like to have like a ring fight, MMA fight, grappling match, boxing, just to like say that I did it. Because, not because I want to make it a serious career. I just want to get in there, hopefully put on a good performance and win, and just to show, just to see if what I was learning is legit, and to also make me a more legit announcer. I feel like, if I also know what it took to get into that cage or the ring, and to know what it takes to be punched, kicked, and all that kind of stuff, then I feel like my introductions will be better because there's also that understanding as well. Whenever I introduce the fighter.
Okay, let me test you.
Sure.
All of a sudden, the garage door goes down.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here, and in the door walks someone who looks just like you. He's your clone.
Oh, yeah?
And he's got a deeper, sexier voice. And he's wearing a nice fucking suit. Like, it's crazy.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, Ryan, well, we're going to take you out. There can only be room for one in the announcement game, and we're here to take you out. And we're both in on it. What's your first move right now?
So
what's your move?
So is it the two of you and my clone?
It's two, and then your clone comes in just like Ryan comes in. Okay, what do you do?
I would look at my clone, headbutt him in the face.
Ooh.
Oh, you use your head
outside of training.
His head too, eh?
And then I'd put him in clinch, and then dirty box with elbows.
So we get up, and then what? We get up. I come at you from this side. dude, this is real.
Terrible hypothetical.
You want to be a fighter, you got to be ready at all times. Psychic. Bam.
That's some East Van shit.
Clone in a headlock. You psychic.
I don't know about that being East Van.
And then he comes, front kick, boom, snap the neck. Right?
That's a terrible fight. That's not a good
tough.
look.
That's tough.
No, that's not a good look.
That's probably one of the weirdest questions I've ever
Yes, only on the High Page.
You want to get some of those here.
Yeah.
So when was the first opportunity presented to you to do some ring announcing?
It was actually, I told the story a bunch of times, but in 2011, the UFC was in town. I think I can't remember dates right now, but it was in July of 2011. The UFC was in town. It was Shane Carwin versus Junior Dos Santos. That was the main event.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I used to work for a website called lowkick.com.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I would do MMA pieces and stuff like that. And when the UFC came to Vancouver, I got to go to the fights.
Yeah.
Nice.
A few hours before the fight, there was this event called the MMA Expo. I won tickets to that.
That's
I
sick.
went there. I saw a guy posting up flyers for an event called Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory out in the Croatian Cultural Center.
Yeah, that's
It was a
dope.
week
Classic.
after the UFC card.
Classic.
I asked the guy. I asked the promoter. I said to him,
a tough guy or
I've
something.
always wanted to try announcing. I watched a lot of fights. I used to host hip hop shows.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm comfortable in front of crowds. I'd like to try to be a ring announcer. And the guy told me, I already have a guy. I hired him for the event, but here's some free tickets. So
That's
he
cool.
gave
That's
cool. Hooked you up.
me some free tickets and everything like that for the week after. Something in me said it was a good idea to bring some dress clothes with me. So I brought a dress shirt
Nice.
and stuff just in
Spirits.
case,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I went to the fights, and the guy that was in the ring, the announcer, he was a super nice guy, but he was just terrible. He wasn't a good ring announcer. I can't even describe how
He
bad
drank
it
the water
was.
that you gave him?
No energy.
No, it just didn't. It just you could tell the guy wasn't just the right guy for it. Maybe he was a really good actor, but he just wasn't an announcer. So the promoter came up to me, asked if I wanted to try it. Listen, I didn't know any of the fighters. I knew nothing about this event at all. I thought I was just gonna go and watch as a fan.
Yeah.
And I go there, and I did my best, the best that I could.
Yeah.
And there's little things, because back then they didn't actually have a proper commission for
Right,
the events.
right,
They had
right.
a voluntary group that would oversee the events, and they did a really good job. But I actually had to count my own judges' scorecards. So I had to go to judge
wow.
number one. Oh, the score is 30-27. Okay, your judge. So I had to read it and do my own math.
That's
That night, it was the most
crazy.
bizarre thing in the world, and I'm so glad that I don't have to do that ever again.
hilarious.
Right? I did my best. People seemed to like it, and I kept doing fights for them
That's
for as
cool.
long as they had events.
It's a good
That's
start.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we go back a little bit further than that. The first time I met Ryan, he was a rapper.
Oh,
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, when did you
seems like a rapper.
pick up the pen and start writing?
Well, I started probably when I was 14, 15 years old in
Oh,
high
shit,
school.
okay.
I wasn't as confident as I am now as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
where I can, openly talk and share, my passions and my art. But I was very shy. I had a lot of, difficult situations going on. But, I eventually overcame and learned a lot about stage presence
Mm-hmm.
and a lot about projecting and being being able to be a good communicator
Yep.
because of actually hip hop. So when I first got started in that, because I had to in order to get better at your craft, you have to go up on stage.
Oh, for
you
sure.
had to participate in
people.
ciphers and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Now, even though I wasn't a freestyler, I would try my best to come up with a new 16 bars when I was a kid. Over the years, I kind of lost that passion and that drive for the craft, but I still greatly respect the craft.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm at peace with it because it helped build the way that I am now
Yeah, that's dope.
as an MC for fights.
A true stepping stone for
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
who
for
inspired you to start writing?
Oh man. You know what? Maybe Warren G.
Oh
think Warren G.
shit!
Right now,
West Coast.
my content and my style was nothing like him because I was very heavily influenced by East Coast underground stuff, So that was my main thing growing up as a kid. But hearing Warren G's Regulate on cassette, that was sort of
On cassette.
and I was 7 years old. My dad had the cassette.
Oh wow!
So he didn't realize it, but he introduced me
Pops.
to an interesting part of music and history. That
So was he a hip hop fan?
no, not really.
Interesting.
He would just like collect tapes and albums of different genres.
Oh shit.
Right, and that was kind of like a common thing with Filipino people back in the day. So
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever's like the new music, like, you know, you'd have like a collection of it.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
like you'd have like all kinds of different genres of music in your collection.
Warren G
Well,
shows
because
up.
it's so big in Filipino culture, man, is music, right? Like, it's amazing. I would honestly say there is no culture where it's greater and more important to living than with
music.
Filipino culture, man.
Yeah, I think ethnicities in general are obsessed with music in their cultures.
Yeah.
And
No, but weddings, I do weddings of all nationalities. Filipino weddings, crazy about music. It has to be perfect from song to first song to last song. Every song has to be good, because if it is, they will come up and tell you every song was good. They will say with someone, a lady or somebody, right? They will say every song was perfect. All right, it's like you actually did listen to every song too. I know you did.
to earn that shit.
Right.
I left over here. Just let us know that Evander Kane is challenging one of the Paul brothers to a fight
Yeah.
because he is so fucking broke from gambling all his money away. Are you a hockey fan at all?
Big hockey fan.
Yeah. How fucked up?
Sad because he's
It's
a
his ending.
Vancouver
Yeah.
Giants guy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, he was so
it
good.
really sucks what's become of him, you know. And I don't necessarily feel bad for him, because those were his decisions that he made.
Yeah.
It's his fault. He did this all to himself
He's a
and
grown
his
up, yeah.
family, right? Yeah. But you know, you can't help but feel bad knowing where he came from. He's from East Vancouver. He went to, I think he went to John Oliver actually.
Oh shit!
I think he's a JO boy,
My old high school,
right?
John Oliver.
That's what happens when you're a good-looking brother in Vancouver. What happens is
Really good at
that
hockey.
and really good at sports and super athletic. Is you gain entitlement from that.
He's kind of a unicorn too, right?
He was a unicorn
Yeah.
guy out here, and you gain some weird entitlement because you get a lot given to you
Yeah, your whole life.
your whole life,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And so that's what obviously happened with him. I know he had a hard childhood, right? A lot of people had hard childhoods,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a gift, like fucking gift of hockey, just like this guy right here, man.
Yeah.
He had an amazing gift of hockey.
Yeah, and the crazy
It was
thing is,
too much
like,
for him.
you know, that's self-destructive behavior because he was getting paid. Like he had some pretty big contracts,
Oh yeah.
and to gamble on yourself with your own fucking money, and that's insane, man. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I don't think hockey's ever seen it before.
No, I think I don't see him like ever playing in the NHL ever again.
Those social media posts ruined him.
Yeah,
completely.
he's canceled altogether.
Done.
He's done.
Fuck, it's scary, eh?
Going up
Cancel.
going to the KHL, perhaps.
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't know. They don't give a fuck in the KHL. I think he'll play in the KHL.
He'll get a paycheck
Because
He's a
somewhere.
great player. Like he's fucking.
Yeah.
Goal man.
Yeah.
He was playing 20 minutes a game last year, not even trying, and he scored 25 goals. Like in a shortened season.
Okay, so athletically he
But Connor
can.
McDavid is by far the best player.
So athletically, this guy can still play.
Oh, fuck yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
okay.
Nature.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
6'2", 215 pounds. He's a power
He-
forward.
he-
This guy could knock the fuck out of a ton of. He can fight. He's never lost
Yeah.
a fight in hockey. He's tough as fucking nails. He's got an attitude problem.
That's
He's got-
fucked up.
I've known him since he was 13. He's got the same attitude at 13 as he does now. My buddy Brent played with him in Atlanta when he was 18. He was a spoiled little fucking back then. He is bad news for hockey. He's been a cancer wherever he goes. There's a reason why Bufflin threw his tracksuit in the fucking
shower.
shower because he showed up in a tracksuit. You don't. Who the fuck are you? You're making $9 million a year and you show up in a fucking tracksuit to an NHL game. The lack of respect, not just for the league, for yourself. Like you're playing in the best league. It's a privilege. Only 800 players in the world. How many players would die to play fucking in the National Hockey League? Like, I fucked it up. I was a high-rated fucking player. I fucked it up with booze and drugs and all that kind of fucking weird shit. But, like, this guy's there. And he's doing drugs and booze, cheating and fucking, like, all this shit on social.
Ryan's
It's all
fucking
real.
mad.
He's already... Dude,
Ryan's
he went,
angry.
like,
Ryan's
claimed
fucking mad right
bankruptcy
now.
For $49 million.
Takes hockey very personally.
I get it.
So he's in debt already. He's
Yeah.
bankrupt. So every bit of his contract...
You can't
he
say
puts
the
on a
word
buyout.
hockey.
Because now it all comes down to money. They got to
Set
buy
us
him
up.
out for fucking $9
Set
million
us up.
times 4 years.
Cover
$9
my-
million times
cover
4
my
years.
lips
Quite a bit of
so you
dough.
can't see me
That
saying
all goes
this.
towards his debt, and his reputation is done. That guy's gonna. He's a done human. What will he do? Where's he going to go? What is he going to
Well,
do?
this brings us to our podcast word of the week. One more time. Champion word of the week. It's undefeated in almost 50 podcasts. Evolution. Evolution is the key.
This motherfucker says evolution every single
Because
fucking
evolution is the only key. It's the only thing that will allow you to get out of any situation in life. Any situation. And let me explain. Evander Kane has a talent.
Yes.
And he has still a small window to make something. But he has to evolve out of what he's doing. He needs to go into a different sport.
Oh, no.
What? He needs to go to a different sport.
Don't do that.
Or MMA, maybe MMA. He'd be good at MMA.
Because his brand is still hot. He's still got a great name.
Yeah, he could actually. Yeah, you know what?
You know what? If
He has to evolve out of his sport.
He's at it. He's a gambling addict.
I was gonna say like one of the things that's going on in MMA too is you'll notice the crossover athletes like the Greg Hardys, right?
Yeah, former
I think
football
it's
player.
more or less
Yeah,
either fight or
you know, you'll see guys like that. You know, they'll like I don't know, maybe Evander Kane might go into a gym somewhere, become a good fighter. Who knows? I don't know.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
No,
it's
dude,
not,
like
man.
what's her name? Clarissa Shields,
Yeah,
boxer.
but the thing is, that's boxing and MMA. That's still relatively
Still connected.
Yeah.
But she looked good, man.
Yeah, she looked pretty good in her first fight.
Came in and won after being grappled for like an entire round. That's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, for first professional.
Yeah, but then
MMA
you
fight.
meet the champ. That's like...
Oh yeah, no, she's not there yet. She's not.
No,
like,
not even close.
No.
No way.
You
no
get in a fight
way.
like Amanda Nunes would fucking kill her.
Look,
I think it's
Murder.
harder for a woman to gain that superiority championship mode than it is a guy. I just think like you take a tough chick like Nunes or whatever,
Nunes
and
is
you
the
have
best.
the beginner, they'll
Yeah.
look up and be like, oh my god, that's such a climb. For a guy, you can be like, okay, you know what?
It's realistic.
I'm gonna take some court sheets, a little bit
realistic.
here. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna train, way more.
You know
and
what?
I'm gonna gain
You know
muscle.
what that is though? That's not necessarily the man or the woman. That's the evolution of the training. Like when you look at how MMA's evolved from UFC 1 to where it is now, the footwork that Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw, that these guys use, there was nothing like it if you look at UFC
No.
1. Not even
Yeah.
like a trace element of that footwork
Yeah.
was
No.
available. But over the years, footwork evolves, fighters evolve, technique evolves, and it was all focused on the men, right? For a long time,
Oh, that's
right?
so true.
Yeah, they
that's
got to
right.
have that
Yeah.
evolution.
Yeah.
They got to have the evolution. The female evolution really started after Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, 100%.
Because everybody had a skill set. Ronda Rousey was just phenomenal at judo and breaking arms.
Yeah.
And once they caught up to her, though, she got left in the past.
that was it.
Dude, Ronda would never be taken seriously in an MMA fight anywhere on the planet right now.
No.
But at one time, she was fucking.
she
People were
was
calling her the goat and
badass.
shit, right?
Yeah.
But the fight game evolved, dude. I thought Silva was the god.
Yeah.
I thought Anderson Silva was God, that he'd never lose. Nobody would
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
touch him.
Yeah.
And that moment that Weidman cracked him, you could just see everything just change.
Yeah,
Just
that's like that aura of invincibility is gone
crashes.
now.
Yeah.
Right? He's mortal.
Yeah, we put so much on them. So much pressure.
Yeah.
Like, John Jones never lost.
Yet.
He's still got that
Yet.
aura.
Yet.
You think
Yeah.
he's going down in heavyweight?
I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, I feel like his skill set is perfect for heavyweight and everything like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's also the layoff and also the,
Long time.
think about like all the damage he's taken before getting to heavyweight too.
Yeah, he's had some dogfights.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's huge right now. Dude, that guy put on have you seen him
Oh,
lately?
yeah.
He put on a massive amount
He's
of
not
size.
gonna lose, man. When he comes for the title, he's gonna take it.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Can you imagine him versus Ngannou? Oh,
It's gonna happen.
I wanted that fight so bad. I hope it happens.
Yeah,
The
it'd
thing
be
about him
very
is he's the
exciting.
prototypical perfect fighter.
He kind of is.
Yeah, he is.
He's
Yeah.
got the right length. He's
Yeah.
got the right height. He's
Yeah.
got the right attitude. He's got
And the IQ, man.
Yeah, the
IQ,
always fight IQ is
muscle
amazing.
density.
Amazing fight IQ.
He's a hard guy to beat. That's a lucky
He has
shot.
he has so many tools in his toolbox,
it's
and not
insane.
only that, he knows how to use those tools
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the only thing that pisses people off is he does come close to poking eyes a lot because his hands are always open, and he's got such a long reach. When he reaches out,
Yeah.
you're literally like touching the guy's face.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a part of his game, right? He's
Yeah.
got his hands out like that a lot in fights. Even when he defends shots, he defends them with his hands like
Yeah.
up, moving backwards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's dangerous because people walk into your fucking fingers. So
Yeah, yeah.
I would say that's his only weakness personally, but outside of that, his game is perfect. Complete game.
I know it's a head scratcher, but he's been like the more fights he's had, and that comes with age too and damage. You know, he's starting to show his age a little bit in his fights. He's had a few close calls.
They're more competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude, when he was fighting Rampage and Lyoto, he was just murking these guys.
Oh, dude, when he like choked out Lyoto and just dropped him on the ground, like, it's like something out of a movie.
It looks so savage.
Yeah, it looked like a movie.
It is crazy because I remember like the Twitterverse was going nuts, like, oh, disrespectful to drop him. It's like, yo, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to lay him on the floor nicely?
Yeah.
Just choke him out, just drop him. But it just looks scary.
Yeah.
It's just a big guy going, boom.
Dude. But yeah, you can't just be like, okay, you go. Right?
No, you're going all in.
Yeah.
So you've done some jiu-jitsu as well?
Yeah. I've done a little bit of grappling.
Yeah. What would you say is the hardest combat sport that you've done?
Shoot, man. Hardest one. I would like to think actually like boxing is.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because there's so many small, like
Subtle.
throwing like a punch, like, you know, in MMA or kickboxing is not like throwing like a punch in boxing, right? There's so many mechanics. Like, you have to be, you know, aware of your stance and, like, you know, how much weight you're distributing and everything like that, right? Where in some ways, like, if you're throwing like that same jab in kickboxing and you're going into a kick with it, like, your focus isn't that much.
Elementary.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. I think Muay Thai's biggest strengths is the knees and the elbows. The clinch game is amazing.
Yeah, the clinch game.
Because you can grab someone in the clinch, and if they can't move, they're fucked.
Yeah.
You could fuck them up real quick.
Really bad.
The fight's
Really
over really
bad.
fast. Yeah. So another really dope thing that you're into, which I'm into as well, is the gaming.
Yes.
I see it all over
Yes.
what you do. What is this retro gaming place that you have?
Okay, so this is one of the things that I'm really interested in. I have this Facebook group that I started with a few friends of mine. We actually met at an NHL 94 tournament, right? Right, we met at NHL 94 tournament, and we started this club called the Vancouver Community Retro Gaming Club.
Right.
So it became like an Instagram page and a Facebook group, and, you know, we just like talk about retro games, and, you know, we'd have like monthly meetups and everything like that.
That's dope.
Right? And then when the pandemic happened, we didn't have any outlet or any place to hang or whatever. So my good friend Francis, he's the owner of the place. It's called Game Quarters. We found like this place on Commercial Drive. It's hidden somewhere, right? And then when you go in there, there's all kinds of different things. That's entire lifetimes of collecting video games. Our entire collections are there.
Shit.
And we've had a lot of really generous people donate to our cause too.
It looks dope.
Yeah, and it's created pretty much this living time capsule where you can play games from NES to PlayStation 4,
That's wild.
right?
That's wild.
So where is that?
It's somewhere hidden on
Secret-
Commercial Drive.
Secret location.
Ah,
Got to get an
dope.
invite.
Yeah.
I love it.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a high praise
it.
invite.
Of course, of course.
It'd be great to go there and show people what the fuck you guys are doing, man. You guys are doing a
Yeah.
great job out there. It's
Yeah,
dope. It's
yeah,
dope to
yeah.
watch.
What's so you're more a nostalgic guy, eh? You seem
Yeah.
like you've referenced a lot of nostalgic things.
Dude, look at the shirt,
tonight.
man. Representing.
Yeah.
Street
right.
They're wearing
too.
a Street Fighter
Yeah,
t-shirt.
Street
Hell
Fighter
yeah.
t-shirt.
Represent.
Yeah.
What's the best part about the 90s, man?
Man, the best part about the 90s?
Like, because you're a guy that grew up in the generation where you were born in the 90s, right?
I think the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the music.
That's big.
Because, like, you know, you're coming from the 80s where, you know, you had like Michael Jackson and Prince, right? And then
The
you
legends
had
were made in the 80s.
Yeah, and you had like the origins of hip hop and, like, you know, a lot of the classic rock that you hear now.
Yeah.
And it pretty much like was inspired by that,
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty much what was from those times but evolved
Yeah.
and a lot better.
Again,
yeah.
evolution, Mike.
Yeah.
Well,
Fucking
it's
on
the
point.
word. It's the only word you need in your life. If all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, my life is over. I lost my job. What do? I need to evolve.
Yeah.
I need to get out of this person I am and become a different fucking person, or I'm just gonna be fucking miserable in this old person. I need to change it up.
Facts.
Gotta learn how to change it up without fucking up.
Facts.
Change it up without fucking up your life, right?
Hell yeah.
But the 80s made the legends, right? The 80s made the legends.
Yeah.
The 90s made the hits that made people rich, right? So back in the 80s, you were a legend. You sold 100 million albums. You're Michael Jackson,
Only.
right? I think he sold more than that, didn't he?
100 million. He was the first and only artist to hit 100 million.
Right?
It's fucking insane.
Right? So, right?
A thriller.
But then you
Yeah.
get to guys where you're in the 90s and the 2000s where just a hit will make you rich, richer than the legends.
Yeah.
Kanye West. right?
Yeah.
Make you richer than even the legends. You become a legend because you're financially a legend. You know what I mean? You made the most money.
Yeah,
So
that's whack.
It all changed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It all really
Yeah.
changed in music.
Yeah.
You know, but so what are you listening to then?
Japanese music.
Like if you're listening to something right now, like if we say put on some music, what song do you put on?
Shit, I don't even know where to begin because I listen to so many different genres of music.
Yeah.
It's
Of
all
course.
over the place. I mean, it really depends on my mood.
Like right now, we're like, hey, well, what song you want me to put on? Like I'm a DJ, right? So
Yeah, of course, of
you
course.
come up and request a song.
Actually, since you were mentioning nostalgia, one of
Yeah.
my favorite bands of all time is called The Midnight. They
Yeah.
they make music that sounds like it was from
I don't
like the
actually
80s. You know,
Really? You don't?
know. No, I don't think I know the Midnight.
I have no idea.
What's the famous song?
Sunset. Like,
But you always know every time someone brings up an artist, you fucking know. That's the first
might-
time he said, I don't know.
Yeah,
somebody's
I
music
might have
choice.
heard it. I might.
That's
it's
crazy.
later,
Yeah.
right? You know,
yeah,
It's
The
dark.
Midnight's my favorite band.
Midnight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I have heard of the Midnight. I just don't know the song.
I have no
That's
idea.
cool, man. So you're more rock guy then?
I'm all over the place. I'm not a more of anything guy because this guy remembers
Yeah,
when I was
hip-hop.
like, hip hop really
Yeah.
was my life.
Hip hop
But you
head.
evolved,
right?
Head. You looked like an East Coast rapper, like ripped out of Source magazine.
Yeah. Right. You know, I worship those guys.
Yeah.
You know, I love listening to Gangstar and
Ooh.
Wu Tang and Tribe Called
Gangstar.
Quest.
It's a great
and,
one.
Black Star. You love Black
Oh
Star.
yeah, Black Star's
right?
fucking legendary.
Like those guys were my heroes, and you know I really loved the kind of music that they made and the kind of lessons that they were teaching. But you know, it's just I don't know, something came over me growing up as an adult, and I just realized I like so many different things, right? And it's kind of a reflection of how I live my life now.
Yeah.
Because look, I'm a ring announcer. I work in an office full time. I have an underground arcade. I work in like EDM events and everything. It's like I'm all over
No
the
limits,
place.
no
there's,
limits.
There's zero limits or
yeah,
limitations.
there
It's
should
just
not
like
be
martial
any.
arts,
Yeah, 100%.
right? Like, you know, Bruce Lee always said, you know, be like water. So that's how I feel in my life. I'm like fluid all over the place.
Yeah.
If you could meet one famous person that you would be blown away by, who would it be?
Alive or dead.
Alive. Like reality walks through the door.
Fuck, man. I'd say Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you'd say
big.
he's fucking.
Big.
I'd say Manny Pacquiao because he's pretty much, you know, lots of people used to brag about the American dream, but he's like the Filipino dream. He came
Yeah,
from
man.
he came
Yeah.
from nothing.
So true.
And you know worked he showed that through hard work and persistence and determination that you can become one of the biggest and most influential person in sports history,
Yeah.
On the planet.
right, on the planet.
Yeah, he's an icon, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, game changer.
Yeah. Isn't
so-
he like in politics or something now?
Yeah,
He's in the
yeah,
Filipino
he's like
Senate.
he's like a senator, but you know, like
That's
this
a-
guy
a
knows
sore-
more.
that's a sore
this,
spot.
This guy knows a lot about politics, way more than me, right? Way more than me, and like you know, being involved in politics in the Philippines is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It's a mess.
it's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah, it's not good. No, another thing I want to mention before we get out of here is you're skipping.
Yes.
So I noticed you do this social media. I don't know if you want to make it a challenge to people,
Yeah.
but you yourself challenge yourself
Yeah.
to skip.
Yeah. Every day.
But what's the story behind it?
Well, the story behind it all is the pandemic happened. There was no access to gym and dojos and
Right.
you know different places to work out and train. You know, it's either you would get your own set of weights, you would do push-ups, whatever you can in your house. And you know the dope thing about jump rope is that you can literally take it anywhere
Facts.
and just do it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just on you to go ahead and go out and do it. And my main thing was I can't run because my knees are fucked. I actually was really like this guy remembers too. I was a big boy.
Oh,
You know, when I was younger, I was a little bit chubby and all that. The most I've ever weighed, I think, was 265 pounds.
Yeah, you did a great job, man.
Right?
Oh, wow,
Hell
good for
yeah.
you.
So like, you know, I really dedicated myself to bettering myself and my
Yeah.
health and fitness.
Shows,
so
man,
I
definitely.
needed to like find like an outlet because like just doing these standard workouts at home, they were kind of boring and it just wasn't that interesting. And I can't run right now, so jumping rope was one of the best things. And one of my favorite fighter quotes, you can add this. The missing link to footwork is jump rope. And that came from Dominic Cruz, right? That's the missing link.
Legend.
He jumped rope religiously, and like every other great boxer before him, you know, the Ali's, the Rocky Marcianos. There's like pictures, pretty much like anyone that's ever fought. There's a picture of them jumping rope.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It is truly the X factor in fighting, man.
So you do it every day.
Shoulders.
I try my best.
Yeah.
I try my best to. Sometimes, like, you get
It's
injured, you get
inspirational.
sick, or something happens,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, for the most part, I do it every day.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I just actually start skipping again. I had like a couple of leather ropes.
It's really good.
on
It's
there
really good for
somewhere.
footwork, man.
Yeah, it
really
is.
good for cardio.
It is. It's
Yeah.
excellent.
And it feels good when you're in the zone skipping.
Oh
man.
yeah, exactly,
It's like I just
exactly.
hear the regular smack, smack, smack,
Yeah.
smack, smack on the
Or
floor.
you put on some good music and you're jumping rope, nothing like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. So we have a couple of outro questions before we head out of here.
Sure.
And this is going to be interesting because you are a fan of all genres of music.
Yeah.
So after you die, wherever you go in the afterlife, you get to take 3 artists' whole catalog of music with you.
Oh man.
But you only get to choose 3 artists, but you get their whole catalog.
Oh shit.
What 3 artists do you take?
Oh, I'm on the spot.
It's tough.
Okay.
Eternity.
Okay, so only 3.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, Michael Jackson's one,
Big.
right?
Big.
Number 2. What was tough? Number 2. Maybe Tupac. Yeah. And I need to get my electronic shit in there. I'm gonna put Tiesto in there too.
Oh, that's a big catalog.
Right.
Yeah, Tiesto would have a big catalog.
And not just that, Tiesto's also has a multi-genre catalog, so it's
Yeah.
I have something for every flavor.
A lot of features.
Tupac is the stuff when I was growing up, really into hip hop and everything, and West Coast, and of course Michael Jackson. It's all the pop hits. So you have something for every situation.
Michael Jackson is a common denominator, right? Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, it's always one.
Yeah, he's something special.
Yeah. It seems that everyone's been influenced.
You were gonna say something.
Yeah, it was. And
I'm glad you didn't say it.
everyone
Thank
was
you.
influenced by Michael in their life at some point.
Yeah,
Yes,
Hey?
absolutely.
Look at Anderson Silva.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
come
Anderson
on.
Silva. Love my
Dude, every single pop star that exists, from Usher to Justin Timberlake to Justin Bieber, all these motherfuckers have directly stolen from MJ.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Michael Jackson's their dad.
Oh, for sure. He birthed the entire genre after him for R&B.
Yeah, there's a video on the Facebook stories today or whatever, and those little reels, and which I might say is stepping up in the reels. They're really starting to get in.
Yeah.
And it was the Michael Jackson moonwalk situation,
American
and
Music
why
Awards.
he pulled it out for the first time on TV.
AMAs, yeah.
The Jackson 5 are out there. It was at the Motown.
Oh yeah, the 25th
25th anniversary, right? And he was out there with the Jackson 5, and then he came out and did Billie Jean solo.
All sparkly.
Oh,
And then
Sparkly.
did the moonwalk for the first time, right? And then that was it. He was a legend. That was instant
Pretty
legend.
phenomenal.
That's
Right?
insane.
Yeah.
That is an
He was so
insane
young.
part of history.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's-
we'll ever get that ever again.
There'll be never special moments.
Not
like
with that many eyes on the same thing at the same time.
Oh, that's so true.
That's the difference, right?
What a point you just
No,
made.
dude, no PVR,
Yeah.
no rewinding. You
Yeah.
had to watch it then, or you didn't get to see it.
Yeah. It had to be
No,
live.
no overload of content.
Yeah.
Because it's so available now, right?
Yeah.
Holy
Or-
shit.
Dude, you know the worst, the painful thing for me? Okay, I have a 20-year-old and a 14-year-old, and I wanted to show my 20-year-old Chris Rock stand up, Bigger and Blacker.
Yes.
It's like hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we got through like half an hour of it. He's like, "This is so long. This is," like, bro, this is Chris Rock. But he can sit through an hour of Kevin Hart. But I'm like, Chris Rock is so, it's just, there's like a disconnect, a complete disconnect, where they just don't get it. And I was very hurt. But I can't blame them though, right? It's like stuff that my dad used to show me. I'd be like so bored in like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, man.
But yeah, there's a disconnect. So what are you going to hit him with, Mike?
All right, you ready? I ask this to all of our guests at the end of the night after they've sat in the chair. And now.
And let's just say, this question gets the most colorful answers.
And now, for the final question of the night. Here at the beautiful Wellington Spawn Casino in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Home of the $25 steak dinner,
Very nice.
available at the casino
Very nice.
24 hours a day.
Very nice.
At one side of the table, we have a refillee.
And a
And
cloud of
right
smoke.
here, we have Ryan. What was your last name again? Sorry.
Ventura.
Ryan Ventura.
A
Ventura.
fighter name right there.
Ventura.
Yes.
There you go. The old school boxing announcer part.
Yes. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be practicing. I won't be smoking lots of weed and up for
Why not?
19 hours. All right. So it's all good. But maybe I will. I don't know. No, I won't. Anyways, here's my question, my friend.
Sure.
What happens when you die? Like, what happens when you die? What do you think?
Holy shit.
That's the final mind-blowing high phrase question. I told you there'd be more.
Great.
I told you there'd be more.
Great.
Oh, man.
What happens when you die, dude? What have you believed all your life that happens when you die? It's not like what do you think. It's like what do you believe? What have you been?
The conclusion.
Like what do you believe? You're 30-something years old, right?
I'm 33.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't know what I believe. I mean, I grew up going to like church and all that
Christian
kind of
church?
stuff. Yeah, well, two versions of Christianity because growing up, my dad's grandma, she was a really strict Catholic. She went to church every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would go with her and stuff. But my dad, in like with his wife at the time, she was really into like going to like non-denominational church. So that's like basically church that's not like governed by like some sort of governing body like the Pope or whatever. Right? So it's like, they were free to sort of believe, like to interpret it accordingly and all that.
A little
kind
more
of stuff.
open.
You know, and yeah, they were a bit more accepting and all that kind of stuff. But then, I went to that for a bit, and after that, I just kind of, I don't know, man. I'm just living for today,
Facts.
right? Life is too short. I recently, lost some really good family in the last few months, and it's been very difficult. And it just made me realize that, you got to like make the best of every opportunity that you have while you can, because like, it's not going to last forever. And the thing that to me, like, I don't know if there's anything out there, but I want to like leave something good for my future children and their family.
That's dope.
Best answer ever.
Great
It's
wrap up.
the correct answer. No
And
one's ever said that before.
At all. No.
It is the correct answer, and that's what I've been trying to tell him for the last little bit. He thinks, everyone thinks there's something that happens. I'm like, no, because that's a belief system. That's not reality. Whether you believe in God or you don't, either way, it's a belief system. And the key to life is not believing in either one. The key is to live in the fucking moment, right? Because if you believe that there's something after you die, you're going to be living for that, whatever that
Holy
is,
shit.
after you die. If you believe that there's a heaven, then you're going to live your time on earth according to your belief system that there's a heaven coming up.
Facts.
So that's why you don't fucking believe in anything. And that's what I'm saying. Like when I say there's nothing, what I really mean is that in my head there's nothing. I don't live for heaven and I don't live for some afterlife because I believe there's nothing. So I live my life now. My girlfriend, when I die, it's over. When you die, our relationships are over, dude. It's done. So make the most of your fucking time now. Make your relationships and enjoy time with them.
That's how he does it, man.
That's how it goes.
We've had this conversation ad nauseum.
Because we say like, oh, you believe in God, you're
I don't believe in
crazy,
God.
right?
Yeah.
But people who believe in God are crazy.
Yeah.
But that means we're saying we don't believe
All
in
little
God,
gods.
right?
Thoughts become things.
That's still just as crazy.
Everything's crazy. Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
It's
You
really
can already be dead. You die every day when you go to sleep. When you're sleeping, you're not conscious. When you're awake, you're conscious. Awareness. Everything's awareness.
Yeah.
If you're
Got some-
aware
got some
of where you
bars.
are-
okay. So this brings us to this part where my friend Ryan,
Yes.
I'm going to ask him to come into the seat
Okay.
and finish off the 10 minutes of the podcast here on the High Phrase podcast. All
I
right.
know
So
that
Ryan,
you
come
probably
on
don't
in.
want- This is an honor. Actually.
Right?
This is
I'm
an
gonna get
honor.
Ryan to interview the guests.
Hi, Ryan.
Welcome,
I
Ryan.
don't think this is really fair to put me
the
on the spot
High
like this,
Phrase
but
podcast.
I mean,
Well, you've been
obviously,
here all night,
I mean, I was sitting back and I was like, I actually texted my buddy and I was like, I'm for the first time, like I've been on so many podcasts and I hosted my own podcast for a little while, and I was laughing my balls off, and then it got like that last question was very, very deep that delves into the spiritual.
Yeah.
And so like everybody's belief system can be different,
Yeah.
but especially in a time like this where I believe that we're in a great awakening where everything is drying up, fires everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are starting to realize that like
It's dark.
money doesn't fucking matter like it did before.
Yeah.
That like our greatest currency is our health.
Yeah.
And people are believing that they're sicker than they really are.
Oh, for real.
Even mental illness, mental health, it's society fucking illness that overstimulation is bestowing us with social media, overstimulation with like people trying to pretend that there's somebody who they're not. Okay, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience driven by the power of source energy coming in and through us, where we can project from non-physical and create whatever the fuck we want in our mind. And that is pure truth. Henry Ford did it. Thomas A. Edison did it. Yeah. Henry Ford created the horseless fucking carriage. And like I said, thoughts, you become what you think about all day long. You talk about Conor McGregor. Before he came into the UFC, he was like, I'm motherfucking law of attraction, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And he became exactly who he said he was. The Notorious. Those the glasses on, big mint coat, whatever. Is he happy right now? I don't think so. He got exactly what he wanted. You always get exactly what you want. When you're younger and you're all like super motivated to like be someone or whatever, like, you want to know the fastest way to get to like actually where you really think you want is just being present in the present moment. Of course, it's not always going to be comfortable. People come, people go. Death is a mere transition. They're like, we literally could be like, we're a multitude of souls within souls with higher faculties, and we can draw upon those higher faculties literally and use those higher faculties and bring them down into a power that literally exudes into this like matrix that we're like deviating ourselves through and actually create from the formless. So it's like there's a thinking stuff that like really permeates and penetrates the inner spaces of the universe. So like
ask the guest. That's what he was
you know what my problem was? I was sitting back.
Yo,
I got a little excited there talking about premortal things.
No, okay.
Let's get serious here. I'll ask you a question.
The real thing though, like the way we create society, the way we build society, we build society for people to go crazy. You're not meant to be functional adults.
Stop sign? I go fucking nuts.
Well, how do you control people? You control people by making sure that they're always disoriented, that they're never focused, that they're not eating properly, that they're not sleeping properly. It's
wake up at 4.
Majority of the population is overstressed and can barely pay their bills. Dude, Canadians are 67% in consumer debt. Not like mortgages, consumer, which means credit cards.
Gas is at 172 now. So let me ask you
lines
a
of credit and shit like
Since
that.
I'm not supposed to ask a question, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How can humanity benefit if we collaborate more harmoniously and really go back to old teachings of like the Andrew Carnegies and whatnot that like created the industrial empire with like steel and whatnot and created jobs for people, and there was a mastermind alliance. How do we come back into that harmony in the now and get over our fucking egos here and realize that we're all one and we're all going to start creating abundance, which is freedom, together? How the fuck do we get do we get that?
Well, I think we need leadership.
Alliances.
We need leadership. And if there's no leadership, every movement requires effective leadership, and if there's not effective leadership, the movement falls apart.
Take the lead. You got to number one, you got to take the lead of yourself.
That's the big one.
Control yourself. And as you control yourself, you know that you're a mirror image of the person who you're attracting right in front of you, and then you can be that change because you can start affecting people's energy with your own vibrations. Because your vibration equals your point of attraction. So then you're going to start attracting other people of like minds into that vortex.
And that's how you build.
And then that's how mountains are moved.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm sure you experience this when you put together...
Or you can do it by yourself, and it's a lonely existence. And I'm a total fucking introvert. So even for me to come on and talk about this is like, it's my higher self talking, because like even driving over here was like a fucking like I'm a fucking Cancer. I'm usually in my shell. I share my story in very like particular like spots kind of thing, you know, and I'm like, this is not even about me. I got thrown into this position. Like I said, I'm very nervous, and I've done some public. I've never taken a public speaking course. I'm manic.
We could edit it all out.
You
just have to relax. We can edit that shit.
I believe you asked about the whole death thing, and then I just step in with the spiritual jargon here. I think that people are becoming over spiritual. It's spiritual overkill instead of spiritual gangster and shit like that.
Not real
if you were
spirituality.
just being you, just being yourself, totally true to yourself, no bullshit, fucking being you all the time. Yeah, we make mistakes. We've all lied. We've all fucking cheated. We've all fucking maybe disrespected a little bit much and maybe feel bad about it. But like at this time in history, I think it's important for humanity to step it the fuck up, get over the fucking bullshit, lies, and deceit that we see on media, because media is just fucking bullshit at the end of the day. Like, you can believe so much of so much. especially when everything's controlled under the same umbrella. So then when you want to get into the whole spiritual aspect of things, you wonder why that there's the 99%ers, they're the ones that are making all the fucking dough in the world. So they're all controlled. It's like, you think certain celebrities want to do certain things? No, they're getting paid fucking hundreds of millions of like millions of
amounts of money.
Like, look at fucking Mayweather, these McGregor making like what is 100 million a fight. You're like, one day you're driving a fucking Boxster or whatever, and you're living nicely in fucking Ireland and Cali. Next day you're on a fucking 100-foot yacht and a fucking tiger skin Speedo. You fucking weirdo. Like, but like fucking wearing Versace shades and shit. I come from Ireland. I'm a plumber.
Oh my God.
It's fucked up.
I don't see Mike. You look like an angel right now. Yeah, because you're in the ring light, and it looks like a halo.
I'm gonna have to really decompress after this episode.
One thing we have not given credit to all this time is the use of the cannabis, because I think once we introduce cannabis into the conversations change. Yeah, and I think people have different perspectives, especially about that death question.
Yeah.
But why don't you let people know where they can find you if they need your resources?
If anyone's looking for me, you can check out linktr.ee/Ryan Ventura. You'll be able to find my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, like pretty much like anything that I'm doing, you can find everything there.
Ring announcing, hosting, whatever you need.
Yeah.
You need a voice.
Yeah, or if you really want to keep it easy, it's at Ryan Ventura 604. It's on pretty much every platform except for Twitter. Twitter, it's 778.
And you're the voice, right?
The voice of champions.
The voice of champions.
Yeah.
The voice of champions.
And now,
This is a great Instagram account, by the way.
High Phrase Podcast.
from the garage,
ACDJ.
live
Ryan
from the garage,
and Ryan Christian Ventura.
It's podcast
Peace, y'all. Wait.